Hello and welcome to Book Talk number 2 by Haley Sims. One of my favorite authors that I've enjoyed learning about in my career as a fifth grade teacher has been the author of Lauren Tarshis. She is the author of all of the I Survived books. These books are genre for historical fiction. She does a fantastic job of making connections to the students that she is portraying or, writing to in her stories of I Survived. These all have to do with historical uh, problems, issues, nature. If you notice, you can see the World Trade Centers in the background right there. A lot of it has to do with actual events in our history. Of course, you'll know that historical fiction is something that has happened in the past. It's not something that's in the future or portrayed to be in the future. These stories are historical, so they have really happened, but they're also fictional, where it means that they have not happened. These characters have not really. This is not a biography or an autobiography where the real characters within the story. However, they're historical events. So here's a picture of Lauren Tarshis. She's incredibly sweet and kind. From all the videos and interviews I've ever seen her contribute to, she has just been fantastic at communicating with students and teachers of all kinds. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and slide this off to the side real quick so that I can click on the video and we will watch.
This oceanside verbo is about to become the backdrop for an unforgettable vacation memory.
Hi readers, it's Lauren Tarshis, and I get to be here to answer some questions about my latest article, The Night of the Grizzlies. The Night of the Grizzlies is a night that happened in July of 1967 when there were two fatal grizzly attacks in one night on opposite sides of a beautiful national park, Glacier Park, committed by two different grizzly bears. And it wasn't simply this gruesome animal attack story. What happened that night was so shocking and singular that it actually changed our world. It changed the way that all of us interact with animals in national parks. It changed the rules in national parks. And I think it also helped us gain a more healthy respect and sympathy for the animals that we share our wilderness with. When I research a story, I want to have as many sources as possible. I almost think of my research as creating a patchwork quilt where I have to find many different sources, many different images, many different voices, many different facts, and then I stitch them all together for you to try to create something that is as dramatic and vivid and realistic as possible. I was very fortunate in my research for The Night of the Grizzlies because I was able to travel to the place where this event occurred, Glacier National Park in Montana, which is a gorgeous place that I'd always wanted to go. And I actually didn't mean to go there on a research trip. I went there because I've always dreamt of going to Glacier Park in Montana. I knew that it was stunning. I wanted to see the lakes. I wanted to see the mountains. I'd always wanted to go there. But when I went there, right before taking a hike on the first day, I went into the ranger station and I saw a collection of books that they were selling. And one of them was this book called The Night of the Grizzlies. So I just couldn't help myself from buying this book, and I knew that it was going to be something very dramatic and fascinating, and it was. So it was this trip to Glacier that accidentally started my research journey, then led me to the book, The Night of the Grizzlies, which fascinated me. And then from there, I interviewed experts, I watched videos, I learned everything I could about grizzly bears and the history of those animals in North America, the native peoples who lived in that area before, in the 1800s. So many, many different types of sources helped me create this story for you. There are a few
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue on, but as you can see, her videos are really great at explaining us how she does her research, why she does her research, how she gets more information for her research. It is really awesome experience for the students to be able to see that an adult can go through this process too. It's not just them. Alright, so she's a children's author. She's been writing since 1988. One of her big things is I Survived, but she also works for Scholastic's magazine called Storyworks. This is something that we implemented in my classroom. It was fantastic. These are the videos that, like the one you just saw, where she would make connections to what she wrote. So you would read these prior to the stories, and then you would understand a little bit backstory of what you're about to read. She's known as a researcher, an investigator, and an interviewer, and she has written over 30 published books. About 20 of those, I believe, are I Survived books. She mostly writes historical fiction, like we spoke about, and historical fiction is a literary genre in which the plot takes place in a setting located in the past. Thanks so much for coming along with me on this book talk number 2.